The lesson.
Oh, yeah.
So 2002,
Yeah.
when it came, so you were defending your 2001 title because you won nationals, you went to the Worlds. Then 2002, you came back, you defended, or you competed.
You competed, yeah.
But you didn't win that one.
Nah.
So who got first and where did you place in 02?
I placed second to, I forget his name. This Melbourne guy. He was originally from Perth. I forget. It's that long ago.
Do you remember the night and do you remember how you felt when you didn't get first place?
Yeah. Because it was worse like having like an original routine that no one had, like I was doing stuff that hadn't been done before with sounds that hadn't been done, and I had like juggle patterns that hadn't been done, and scratches that hadn't been done, and I was just like, wait a second, I lost to a guy that totally bit P-Trix's style. P-Trix was US champ from the previous year. It's like, what happens with turntablists in DMCs in that era? You would see Craze, and he called it. Craze did his style, and then the next year, everyone jumped on his style. You know what I mean? And P-Trix did his style, and then people started doing P-Trix style. So it was kind of like Selekt. That's his name. Selekt. He just took P-Trix's style, which is kind of like, it was as I said, there was DJs that kind of did that. Like they would be influenced, their sets would be influenced. He was just overly influenced. Like, I don't really give a fuck about that guy. The guy sucked.
So you thought you should have won that year?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I should have won that year. That was like a hands down win.
So why do you think you didn't win it?
Well, because I was being judged by guys that didn't have a clue what they were. And I told them all straight up. I was just like, you guys, you make me realize how this scene is going to be, where it's kind of like we don't have enough qualified turntablists. No, we do have enough qualified turntablists, but it just kind of like, when you have like 10 judges, it looks good. Like, we've got this judge, and we've got this judge, and we've got this guy from the radio station, and we've got this guy from bloody the hamburger shop down the road. Like, all right, cool. That's great. So kind of like, I realized like, okay, these guys don't have a clue. Because then I had pretty much, 80% of them then contact me or bump into me and see me at a show and do their apologize. Like, hey man, saw the footage. Sorry, we didn't see that. I didn't see that. I'm sorry, man. I didn't, on the night, there's a lot going on. It's like, all right, man, what can you do? You know what I mean? But that's when I realized, yeah. So then after that, I got told by Craze and some other guys, like, you gotta do it where it's undeniable. That's when I kind of was like, all right, did I deserve to win? Yeah, I think I should have won. I think from a turntablist, a real turntablist point of view, and the turntablists that were judging all had me first. So from their point of view, I should have won. But at the same time, I got to take it on the chin and be like, you know what? Crazy and that are right. I didn't do it in a way where it was like undeniable. Like when Dexter was on, like that year that I was in, I watched him and I was like, whoa. In the first like minute, I was like, this guy's won it. Like, this guy's won. Hands down, no matter what he does now, doesn't matter. Like, he's won it. It's a wrap. I didn't have that. I didn't have that. It's a wrap. Like, what I did would have been received well overseas, but it wasn't received well here, which was proven again at Red Bull last year. It was like, it wasn't received well here, but then over there it was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. But here, our level is, it's a cause of our level. You know what I mean? People have a certain point where they go, yeah, we understand to this much.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And we never push the boundaries. You know what I mean? And it's guys like that push the boundaries that don't really get the notice in the turntablist world. Like, look at Zeke Beats. Guy's a freak. You know what I mean?
Perth,
Yeah.
West Coast,
Yeah.
down with Qbert.
This is Qbert's protege.
Yeah, he's
You know what I mean?
ill, man.
And
He's
killing
real
it.
ill.
He's killing it. But, you know, if you look at the Australian turntablist scene, he's not mentioned.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, man, because
he's won titles. Like, he's got titles, man. The guy's got titles. And Qbert's protege. He's Qbert's protege. He's not like, you know, he was an understudy for Qbert.
that's an accolade in itself.
Come on, man. That's insane. For an Aussie, Outback Aussie, like, man, that shit's crazy. But that's why I kind of like stepped away from the scene. I was like, you know what? You know, the scene's not really kind of for me. And I noticed it real quick because I was like, okay, because I was like, I did my thing. You know, I was the first turntablist from New South Wales to win a national title. At that age too, I was the youngest. And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing the comps anymore. We'll leave it to the others. Other guys can come in. My goal was never to win that, but then I won it, so it was like, all right, cool, sweet. And then I was kind of like, all right, cool. It was like, I'm gonna do my thing, and the turntables world is gonna do this.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like the Australian turntablist scene just kind of went its own direction. You know what I mean? And I kind of was like to this day, I never judged. Not that I didn't want to, but I was never asked to come judge a national final.
Shit, I thought.
And I was never asked to judge a New South Wales final, which is crazy because it's like, wait a second, we've got a New South Wales guy who is the only champion kind of come out of New South Wales, but never asked to judge or come do a show or do a performance or anything, which is like, to me, it's like, cool. You know, I was busy. I was mad busy. So I was like, you know, I'm not like sitting at home twiddling my thumbs like, why isn't the phone ringing from these guys? I ain't give a fuck. So I was like, man, I'm cool. I got signed like literally straight after DMCs. So I was like, because I lost DMCs in 2002 and I was like, okay, cool. This ain't for me. I need to pursue my real passion, which was DJing. And literally like a week or two later, it was like, hey, Universal wants to sign you. And I was like, oh, one door closed and one door opens. That's how life is, you know, like, and that's what I loved about that situation. So, and it's good because it's kind of like, I like being that outside guy, you know what I mean? The one that's not welcome, but can just slaughter everyone. And I can be that. I can be that dude. I'm good like that. I can do it.
And do you think, I mean, if you feel like at that particular point in time, you know, you weren't welcomed with open arms into the whole turntablism thing, do you think that maybe that was partially because you were good and dudes were intimidated, or why do you think that was?
It was that, and because I wasn't like, which is weird. It happened with. See, we're the result of what happens worldwide. At that kind of stage of turntable scene, you know, like it was all hip hop based, strictly hip hop. If you were a turntablist, you had to be a hip hop DJ. You had to play Aussie hip hop, and you just had to be hip hop. And then kind of craze came in, started playing drum and bass, and everyone flipped out and like, you can't do this, and he copped slack. So it kind of. We linger from that. We have this turntablist is about hip hop only, and hip hop is just hip hop, and I came in without that. I came in like, well, no, I idolize this guy who's playing drum and bass. I'm not playing drum and bass, but I realized, well, we don't have to play hip hop. We can play other stuff and do other stuff. And then Dexter was playing like Jimi Hendrix. I was like, okay, cool. Well, let's do that. And then it kind of was like it shifted. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, I get that. You're that guy gonna play, commercial stuff and do that when you don't really like Aussie hip hop. And I like Aussie hip hop, but my sets are based on good music. What I feel is dope, which gets me amped. You know what I mean? Like, I love like Hilltop Hoods and Pegs, 360, and all those dudes, all those guys from back in the day too, like heaps of them, but I love them like where I listen in the car. I love them. You know what I mean? But I kind of was like, when I play sets, I create my sets based on what gets me hype, like what I want to like jump around to. So, and the same with DMCs. I was kind of like, I want to play stuff that I thought was crazy at the time, and I have a crazy sense of sounds. So I was using like a lot of like hardcore, gabba, like real grungy, just sounds, like hardcore sounds. What they have now, which is they call it hard style now. But back then it was just called hardcore. It was just like real techno-y bass, but I'd use those sounds and flip them in a hip hop, hip hop shit. So, which is what we do now for trap. So I was like, I was doing all this stuff that we kind of relate to now, but back then I was doing it back then. But so it's kind of like I was that dark horse guy, which kind of worked for me. And I was like, I wasn't really on the forums and doing all that. And so yeah, and I realized how retarded it is retarded. I don't give a fuck who's watching. You guys are retarded. I realized how retarded it was. I remember I did nationals the first time, and where Dexter won, and his brother Kuya was in it. It was in the same. So Dexter was defending, and Kuya was the Melbourne champion. And I remember this is my first time in Melbourne. Like, I've never been to Melbourne. I'm young, like 18 or 19. I was young, bro. And I remember going to this comp, and it's like everyone was just on this, we've had enough of Dexter and Kuya mentality. And for me, I was like, man, I love these guys. These guys are dope. But it was like, nah, man, you guys got to come in and get these guys. I was like, okay, the mentality towards these guys who are in the scene, who are putting us on the map. Like, realistically, Dexter had been to the world twice previously. This is going to be his third time. Like, these guys are setting the scene. You know what I mean? Like, these are the guys right now. And I could feel the tension towards these guys. I was like, wait a second. This seems weird. I thought it was meant to be like everyone's, dope and push each other, and it's dope. DJing's dope and turntables is dope. But I realized how kind of twisted it is. And then I remember watching that night. And I knew my set. I seen Dexter, I was like, he's won. And I seen Kuya's set. Kuya's set was better than mine. Hands down, he beat me. Me as a judge, I put myself third. Not second. I put myself third. I was like, Kuya should have won, but Kuya should have came second. But I could tell it was like that tension between this other scene. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But the tension was like, we can't have Dexter and Kuya win. Like, we can't have a first and second because these guys are going to control everything. Like, man, fuck that shit. He hands down. So I went on my first time I went on a forum because I had friends like, yo, man, you got to go on this Turntablist forum and there's people asking about you. Like, all right, cool. And then I seen all these posts hating, man, people were just like hating on Dexter and hating on Kuya and hating on me and hating on everyone. I was like, whoa, shit. So I went on and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to be honest, like, my opinion. Because people were like asking for my opinion. I was like, I don't know who the fuck these people are. They're like, what's your opinion? I was like, I'm going to be honest. I did my thing on, I was like, but I'm going to be honest. I don't feel I deserved second. I feel I deserved third. And I pretty much wrote that. Like, literally wrote, I pretty much deserved third. Kuya beat me. He had a better set. I should have got third. I don't think I deserve second. But I'm going to take it. Thank you. But I think he deserved it. I think, and on the night that I came second, I actually said on the mic, I feel like Kuya beat me.
Well, you said that when
yeah, I'm sure that on that night, when they called me second, I said, I think Kuya beat me on that. And I gave him a shout out. I remember he was on the side of the stage. I gave him a shout out. He beat me. Like, his set was dope. But that's from me. That's from what I watched. I don't know what the judges saw. Maybe they saw something different in me, because it's hard to judge yourself. You always think like, my stuff's not that good. So I might have been judging based on, my stuff wasn't that good and his was better. But I went on this forum and I was like, I don't think I deserve second. I think I deserve third. And people just started like, who are you to think you deserved first? And like, you're saying you don't deserve second, you think you got first. And I was like, oh, calm down. Like, and back then, forums is what social media is now. You say one thing and people don't read what you say properly. They take what they take on fiery emotion. They read and get worked up and don't read exactly what it says or means, and they go off a tangent and go, okay, I'm gonna say this, this, and this, and then, we've all had that post where we've got to reply and go, you didn't read it
properly. Read
it properly and go back and then answer. So I kind of had to deal with that. And I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with these fuckers anymore, man. Fuck this shit. That's when I was like, all right, I want to get out of this kind of scene.
So that was 2002.
Yeah, it was a mix of 2000, 2001, 2002, that kind of era. But 2002 is when I was like, man, I'm done. Like, forget this. You know what I mean? Like, where we had Dexter put us in third place. Like, we had Dexter put us in third place, actually put us on the map. And I was like, cool, I have to follow that up by doing something different. I know I have to go overseas and do something different. I have to go to the World Finals and show them, like, this is who we are. We do something totally different. But in 2002, I tried to do that. But
didn't work out.
We went with the P-Trix wannabe guy. So,
and just real briefly,
we got slaughtered for that. And from that, man, I don't know what happened after that with DMCs. It just got worse. It just got worse.
The lesson. Oh yeah.